Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but not get just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live, all 3 speaks go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeyser here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. And, of course, check out the blog section as well, as the blogs are coming back in a furious manner here in the next couple days. We're going to be pouring some new blogs on you guys daily over there. Also, if you are new here, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Man Hour. Become a member today as little as 99 cents a month. You get access to one after show a week. You get merchandise discounts and a bunch of other perks over there at youtube.com/Man Hour. We got a 99-cent deal, a $2.99 deal, a $5.99 deal is when you start getting free clothing after 6 months of being a member. And then the $9.99 deal is the best deal you could possibly get. You get a hoodie and a t-shirt every year you are a part of Man Hour Nation. Speaking of Man Hour Nation, Mr. Tori Anderson is the special guest for tonight. At Man Hour _Tori. On the old Twitter machine. I mean, not a special guest. You are the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Tori Anderson. What's going on, Tori?
Not a dang thing. I was going to say special guest. I mean, I'm special, but more, I would say I'm more special ed than anything. I wouldn't say I'm a special guest. I mean, but at least I can form coherent sentences, unlike Brandon's rambling last night on whatever subject it was that he was trying to get his narrative on.
Yeah, well, he was in the chat last night. He definitely was on the show. I believe you're talking about the Monday show when we first
got
back.
Yes.
So, Tori, I mean, I always ask you how your day was and what you did exciting, and you always give me the politically correct answer. You know, I went to work, I drank my coffee, I didn't poo myself. But, Tori, how was your day today?
I mean, Buck, you're the reason I'm never going to get married because you're my wife already. You asked me how my day was. You're like, did it go good? How are you, honey? So, Buck, you're officially my wife now. Sorry, Cindy.
Just coughing, it slides in.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm in the process of so many things right now between working, trying to find a new place to live because I do have to move. So I spent, when I was not actually doing my job, I was setting up appointments to go look at apartments this weekend. So for when I move, trying to figure out, do I want to live close to work? Do I want to live a little ways out so I'm not quite downtown? How much do I actually want to spend? I did find one place. Actually, there's 2 of them that are on a golf course, and your rent includes the golf membership. So those may have gone to the front of the line for me since I like golf.
So back when I was apartment hunting, way back when I first moved to Kansas City, there was an opportunity to live on a golf course as well. And me working in the corporate world, like I was supposed to know how to golf because, you know, that's where most of the deals are made out there in the corporate world or on the golf course. And so I lived on a golf course, and I think I golfed twice on the golf course the whole 3 years I was there. So it was kind of a waste of money for me. But for you, maybe, Tori, it'd be a great deal because, you know, Aaron Rodgers is a golfer. You're a golfer. You guys are both part owners of the Packers. I mean,
well, he's not a part owner of the Packers. He's a part owner of the Bucks.
Oh, okay.
The Packers. He's a minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Like 1%. He owns like 1% of the Bucks.
He's still owner, much like Patrick Mahomes. But speaking of the Bucks, Tori, let's talk a little bit about NBA here. We had probably one of the greatest games that I can remember in recent history. The Clippers and Suns ended the game with 0.7 seconds left on a alley-oop dunk to basically seal the game or to actually win the game for the Suns. So, Tori, we were talking about this a little bit about pre-show, and I showed you the clip, and I gotta want to get dinged on YouTube because every time I show clips, we get shut down, and I don't want to get shut down. But Tori, was that the greatest ending you have ever seen in basketball game?
Second greatest ending of all time. Ironically, the first one though still involves the Phoenix Suns. Drew, I know the Suns are one of your how many teams are in the NBA? 28 teams, because you like all 28 teams. But the first, I still think that the greatest shot ever in NBA history was the Charles Barkley oop to Oliver Miller. And the reason it beats out this shot is because there was only 0.5 seconds left on the clock. To get a shot off and get it up that quick is ridiculous. That basically requires exactly perfect timing. The Suns pulled it off last night, and not to take anything away from it. It's like I said, to me, that's probably the second greatest shot that's ever happened, just because of the amount of time that is left on the clock. People are going to say there's probably more dramatic shot, but I look at the shot clock and how much time was actually left in that game, and both of them try to get a shot off in that amount of time. You cannot do it. It requires exact, perfect execution.
Yeah, if you guys have not seen that game-ending shot yet from the Suns and Clippers last night, definitely go over to YouTube and check it out. The NBA has a minute clip of it, and it is I think it is one of the greatest shots I have ever seen. They were down by one with 0.7 seconds left, and I'm getting ready for bed, kind of passively watching the game, and then I look over. Out of the corner of my eye, I see everybody just clearing the benches. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And then they showed the replay. I'm like, wow. It was breathtaking. I mean, I cannot believe that just happened. We're going to talk about, events that led up to that, to make that happen later in the show. But Tori, that is hands down one of the best shots I have ever seen. I mean, that is over the, what was it, Steph Curry half court shot to seal the game in March Madness in 23 or 2003 or something like that. And then every March Madness they showed that coach, when he's out on the court, out on the field with with his arm raised. That Villanova, that shot, they show that every year. But this one ranks number one for me, Tori, hands down. Hands down.
Because it's the first basketball game you've probably ever watched in your life.
That's not true. That is not true, man.
Kansas doesn't have any pro basketball.
we don't have pro basketball, but I'm still a UK fan. I mean, that's basically pro basketball.
Kansas, the University of Kansas?
No, Kentucky. That's KU, not UK. Come on, Tori. With the disrespect already tonight, man, I can't even wrap it in, man.
You heard it here, folks. Buck went to K-State, and he just said he loves the University of Kansas.
Yeah, I love me some Jayhawks. Yeah, rock chalk Jayhawk all day long.
I want to punch everybody that ever says that. And now one of my really good friends, her daughter is going to go to Kansas. So everything is rock chalk Jayhawk, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. So if anybody in the chat can tell me where the chant rock chalk Jayhawk came from, because I know where it came from, but if you guys can tell me where it came from and what the basis is behind that, I'll give you a free Man Hour t-shirt tonight and tonight only. But Tori, we do got some action-packed show happening for us tonight. We are going to talk a little bit about the Aaron Rodgers saga because that is the news of all news, because we are breaking down the Packers tonight as well. So at 8:45,
does that mean I have to drink then?
Yeah, we will all night long. And so at 8:45 tonight, guys, Tori and myself are going to give you 3 to 4 players that we're buying this year, selling this year, and who are going to be sleeper picks for the Green Bay Packers this year. And then, of course, the foreign substance thing that is live and well in Major League Baseball right now. A few pitchers are not having it, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then, of course, we got to talk the 12-team playoff as well, Tori. I mean, people are in love with this 12-team college playoff, so we're going to have to talk about that as well. And then, of course, the Globetrotters. We didn't get that last night, so we're going to sprinkle that in tonight. The Globetrotters want to be the newest NBA franchise, so we will give us our thoughts on that tonight, coming up in hour number 2 here on the Man Hour. So we're going to take a quick little break here, guys. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and sit back and relax and enjoy the show, because we got a great show lineup for you guys. We'll be right back after this.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Hour. We taking over. It's time to give you them facts.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeye along with Tori Anderson and I at manhour_Buck, and of course at manhour_Tori on the old Twitter machines, guys. If you are new here, consider liking the YouTube page, youtube.com/manhour, and also hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon. Jen Vanessa just subscribed to the YouTube channel, so a big shout out to Jen. Thank you for the subscription as well. We also got the membership tab over there, guys, as well. If you click on the membership tab, or click on the join tab, I should say, you get access to the after show footage, you get discount on merchandise, and you get behind the scenes footage as well throughout the day, as I'm still kind of tinkering that a little bit as I get my computer back up and working properly. That will be live on the show as well. So Tori, welcome back to the show, man. Hopefully you had a good break. You got your win, because we are going to be talking about your Green Bay Packers right now, Tori. So deep breath, relax, find your zen, because
Zen's at school.
Yeah, actually Zen is in my backyard right now, to be totally honest. He is helping my wife. Yeah, he is helping my wife pack. So big shout out to Big Zen there. So
Zen don't need no workout. He's just helping butt back.
Exactly. Hey, Zen, can you go ahead and move that washer about 3 or 4 more times, man? No. Zen is a great kid, and I do anything for him. So with that being said, though, Tori, we are going to talk about your Green Bay Packers here, and Devontae Adams come out and said that he has Aaron Rodgers back through this whole thing, no matter what. But he also, in a subliminal message, said that he will be ready to rock when, if and when Aaron Rodgers does not come to camp or practice. What do you think Devontae Adams is kind of subliminally telling us here? Let's read between the lines of what he said. What do you think Devontae Adams is trying to say there?
He's towing the line on everything because he's in a contract year. So for him, I mean, literally, like, there again, don't want to misstep, want to say all the right things, because say Aaron comes back, he probably re-signs with Green Bay. I think if Aaron does not come back, he does not re-sign with Green Bay. But, literally, he's just giving us the politically correct, Aaron's my guy, da-da-da-da-da. Anybody's going to do that. And I agree 110% with him. He's like, but he's going to play no matter what. He's going to be like, if Aaron's here, Aaron's here. If he's not here, I'm still going to be ready to rock and roll week one. Let's do this type of thing. And I think, though, that goes back to the locker room that these guys have built. The wide receiver core for years upon years has been one of the strengths of this entire team. They're a very close-knit group, and they've always kind of been the backbone. So you went from it started with, like Antonio Freeman, and kind of, when he got close to the end, it went to Donald Driver. Then Donald Driver kind of took things over. And then it was Jordy. And then Jordy kind of, like, there's always been really good leadership in the locker room to keep that wide receiver group kind of on task. I really don't think he's doing anything subliminal. He's doing what the wide receiver group does, and that's like trying to say and put the team first. And that's what that room has always kind of done. Like, doesn't matter. They've always pushed each other to say, like, doesn't matter if I get 10 catches, 150 yards, and, or if I get 3 catches for 75 yards, as long as we get that W, does not matter. He's saying the politically correct things because of the way that team is built and the way things are done. And I think it's just been instilled in him to talk that way. Plus, there again, the contract year, say all the right things, wear all the right clothes, that whole type of thing. Like, if you want to get paid, you got to play the part.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying to an extent there, but if I want to read between the lines there, he said that Aaron Rodgers is my guy, but if he is not here, I am ready to rock. So does that tell you, or that tells me that Devontae Adams does not have faith in Jordan Love, to be honest? Because, you could say Aaron Rodgers is your guy and I'm ready to rock with him, or I'm ready to rock and roll whether he's here or not. That kind of telling you that, like, hey, Aaron, I need you to be here so I can rock and roll, so I can make that bread. Jordan Love is not going to be my guy for me. Do you catch any drift of that, like, at all? Like, do you think?
I don't. There again, like, I'm hard on Jordan Love as anyway, because there again, I am still a fan. As much as I try to be the voice for reason, I'm still a fan. Jordan Love has not played a snap in the NFL yet. We literally have zero clue what he can do because there was no preseason last year either.
Right.
So there's no film. There was nothing else. All we get is, man, he had a great practice. That's it. So we know what we know, and we don't know what we don't know. So I think Devontae is saying, you know what? If it's Aaron, great, we're going to roll it. If it's Jordan, great, we're still going to roll it. And I did actually read an article, is on one of the Wisconsin sports sites about, and it was a really well-written article. I'm going to have to try to find it about if Aaron does not show up. Like, and it was basically saying the Packers are still a playoff team, even if Aaron doesn't show up.
Really? Is that with Jordan Love or with
That's with Jordan Love probably.
Okay.
I would guess as the starting quarterback. And we'll get a little bit more into Why? Because I agree with with a lot of their points in there. And I'll get into that when we do the buy, sell, sleeper part of it.
Yeah, and that is coming up here here in about a half hour on the Man Hour. But Tori, since we are talking Packers and we are talking, like a little bit about a Jordan Love and that kind of thing, I heard a rumor that if Aaron Rodgers does not come back to Green Bay, the Packers are going to be in the market for a veteran quarterback, i.e., Jimmy G, Garner Minshew, or a quarterback of that. I even heard Andy Dalton's name sprinkled in there, like as well. Do you think if Aaron Rodgers does not come back to Green Bay, that the Packers do go after a said veteran quarterback to really put them in the best position to win? Since like you did just say, they are a Super Bowl team without, or no, sorry, a playoff team without Aaron Rodgers even.
I could see it because literally, who do you have behind Jordan Love right now? You have
It's Burnell,
Blake
isn't
Bortles,
it? Or Blake Bortles, I'm sorry.
Blake Bortles, Ben Kurt, and I don't know, maybe somebody else. There might be another person in there. I don't know. Yeah, you're obviously going to look at probably trying to shape your roster. If Jordan Love were to go down, I have more confidence in Jordan Love as the starting quarterback in Green Bay than I would Blake Bortles.
Right.
So one, Jordan Love was in the offense last year. So
true.
The only thing that Blake Bortles has is that he played in the Rams offense, and a lot of the Packers stuff has Rams similarity in it, just because LaFleur is part of that McVay coaching tree. So I don't know. You'd be stupid though to not listen and take a look. Cut down day, there's always somebody that gets cut that you were like, holy crap, I can't believe they got cut. It happens every year. So yeah, they'd be stupid not to take a look. So yeah, take a look, see who's out there. If a name pops out that you're like, oh, they can help our team and I can get rid of, Blake Bortles, yes, they're going to pick him up. So I think it's more of they're looking for a veteran in case something were to happen to Jordan Love versus we need somebody to start instead of Love.
So basically you are saying like if they get a veteran quarterback, it would not to be the start. It would be the backup simply for Jordan Love. It would not be a starter role at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it would be a starter at all.
Okay. So, there are always surprises and there's a lot of like scenarios of like stuff that could happen, but what name comes to mind here? I'm kind of shooting off the hip here. What name comes to mind that would possibly be a great fit in Green Bay as that veteran backup quarterback?
If they keep him and they don't, and obviously if they keep him, that he won't hit the market, but I think he possibly still could because he was so close to hitting the open mark the way it is. But Marcus Mariota, from the Raiders, like it was basically take a pay cut or we're going to get rid of you. And he took a pay cut from like $10.5 million to like $3.5 million. At that point, if that's the case, I would have to look to see what his cap hit would still be. But at $3.5 million, it can't be that much.
Right. Yeah.
So if you were already willing to like just walk away from him before, what's to say that you're not like, we get a cheaper option as a backup. I would see if him, because he played under LaFleur in Tennessee.
Right.
And when LaFleur was the offensive coordinator. So to me, that would make the most sense because you'd have familiarity with the offense.
So do you think that Marcus Mariota could be a starter in the NFL again, or is he an eventual backup role now?
Oh, that's a tough question because he was so up and down. He reminds me of Cordell Stewart.
Yeah.
And so like 1 year Cordell Stewart would look like a starting quarterback. The next year he would look like he didn't belong in the league.
He was playing like wide receiver.
Right. Except, that was the case though, except Cordell Stewart could play wide receiver or running back and did. He was the original. He was kind of the original Swiss Army knife for offensive players.
Yeah.
And that's who he kind of reminds me of. I don't know because you don't know what you're going to get year to year or game to game with him. So I would say he'd he's probably at the stage in his career, and it's not that his career's that long. He's only been in the league like 6 years,
Sounds right.
he's probably going to be that backup guy that's going to make a living, and he'll probably play in the league for 17 years as a backup quarterback because apparently he's a really good locker room guy, and you can make a long career as a backup quarterback off just by being that type of guy.
Right. So like, let's say in theory he does go to the Packers. Obviously there's a lot of scenarios that have to happen for that to happen. But let's say he does go to Green Bay and becomes that backup role quarterback. If Jordan Love ever starts to struggle, do we start hearing rumblings of put Marcus in, or do you think the Packers are sold on Jordan Love for the long haul?
Oof. You're always going to hear the rumblings no matter. Anytime the quarterback struggles, you're going to hear the rumblings. And whether it's team driven or it's more media driven, there's a $1 million question in itself. The fans are always going to be like, oh, we're struggling. Like, he had 2 bad games in a row. Get rid of him, cut him, bench him. He's awful. Put Mariota in. Like, that's just a fan perspective, and it is what we do because that's why we're fans and not the coach or the GM of a team.
Right.
So, I don't think so. A lot of times, if you are truly going to make that guy your guy, you are going to give him a full season to say, you know what, show us what you got at that point. It's because a decision will eventually have to be made of, can my franchise move forward with this guy, or do we need to get somebody else? So that was and even back to when there was the transition from Favre to Rodgers, the big thing was Aaron was in the last year of his rookie deal, and they needed to know what they had. So be like, do we need to draft another guy, or do we need to sign this guy long term? It's a lot of that, because missing on a first round quarterback sets your franchise. It can set your franchise back 10 years. Because if you're looking at a guy that was going to play with any kind of longevity, you just wasted 3 years, and now you're looking for another guy, and it might take you that long to find that franchise quarterback. So, I'm going to err on the side of everything else in this country, or everything else in history of the NFL, and say Jordan Love will not be a Hall of Fame quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, because no team in NFL history has ever had back-to-back-to-back NFL Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So my chat literally just blew up. So I think it just connected. So sorry for those people that have been commenting and did not see them. So let's go ahead and give those people a shout out. So Drew, big shout out to you. Howdy, how are you doing tonight? Hopefully you're being safe out there in the Midwest. And then he comes out and says that the Suns are his only NBA team. Tori, do not get that twisted. The Suns are his only NBA team. He does have 9 NFL teams, though. But we will just go ahead and skim over that. And he said Crowder tossed the ball from behind the backboard. Yeah, that was a great play. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. And then Nana, she comes up, Mrs. Penelope Smith, herself. She said, "Hey guys, just a quick shout out. We had a Battle of the Badges blood donation. First, I want to thank everyone that came out in our area, since we are low on blood in the area, but it also needs to be said." So she also needs to say what? Oh, there it is. The police kicked butt for the most donations. So there you go. So big shout out to Nana and everybody that gave blood tonight here in the Southern Indiana area. Thank you guys, everything for everything. And Drew says, wasn't the Jayhawk chant started by the Science Club? Actually, that is not true. The Rock Chalk Jayhawk chant was started in, I believe, when was we still colonies, Tori? Like 1800s or so, 1700s. It was basically when Kansas and Missouri were like basically fighting each other like all the time, and Kansas is a big limestone thing, and that was kind of their battle cry. It was Rock Chalk Jayhawk, Rock Chalk. So the Rock Chalk is through the limestone, and then obviously the Jayhawk is the name of the school. So it's very, very dumb, but that is That is Kansas for you there, Lawrence. Kansas.
Drew, it's Kansas. They don't believe in science, so why would the science club do it?
I don't know. Science is cool, man. Science is cool. All right, so moving on to the next topic here, Tori. We talked about your Packers. Now it is time to talk about the team, actually the guy that beat your Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game last year, Mr. Tom Brady himself. We are starting to see a new side of Tom Brady. We are starting to see a more fluid and more exciting and more adventurous type of Tom Brady. And on a recent interview, I believe on HBO, he's during his free agency a couple years ago, they were asking about teams that were interested in him, and one of the teams that backed out the very last second, Tom Brady says, "You are really sticking with that blanker." So Tori, we have never seen the side of Tom Brady before ever. We see him on Instagram all the time. We see him on TikTok. We see him having a good time. And quite frankly, I'm starting to become a bigger Tom Brady fan of it. So, are you enjoying this new side of Tom Brady that we're seeing?
Who's Tom Brady?
The second greatest quarterback ever,
behind Aaron Rodgers,
Peyton Manning,
Brent Favre. I like it. You're getting to see Tom Brady be Tom Brady at this point.
Yeah.
He's out of that Patriot way. He's out of the don't show any kind of emotion, don't do anything to rock the boat, Patriot way with Belichick and all that stuff. He's finally getting to, be who he is. I think he's always had this side of him. He just wasn't allowed to do it because, in their eyes, that was basically conduct detrimental to the team in New England. And it's him just showing, hey, you know what? I'm a loose guy. I can have fun. Like, I cannot stand Tom Brady on the football field. Off the field, the guy is hilarious.
Yeah.
The guy is very loose. Everybody that's ever met him has said he's not a jerk. Like, he's super personable. And if you kind of do jerk stuff, he's going to be a jerk back, obviously. But if you're just decent and stuff like that, they're like, he'll be a really decent guy to you. So, as much as I hate him on the field, I'm a big fan of him personally off the field. So hearing him say this stuff is just, it's almost comedy gold because it's stuff he couldn't say when he was in New England for fear of Belichick, scowl at him. I don't know. Maybe Belichick's like Medusa. If he scowls at you enough, you just turn to stone.
Something stupid like that. But honestly, I was not a Tom Brady fan at all. But then Cindy showed me, I believe it was a TikTok video of him after the Super Bowl, and I'm like, wow, that's actually really funny, and that's really, really cool of what they're doing. They're boarding the plane. It was something stupid, but it was just wow, I didn't know Tom Brady had that type of sense of humor, and just I'm actually starting to really like the guy, and now watching him, I'm like, man, this guy can be like this off the field and then totally switch gears on the field. He was just like me. On the field, I was a complete dick, but off the field, I'm just laid back and enjoying life, and that's exactly what Tom Brady is, and I love every single ounce of it. But the one thing that I do want to talk about is Nana sent me a post on the Facebook page, facebook.com/man-hour sports talk, and she did say that Tom Brady has 10 fingers. One ring is occupied by his wedding ring, and he has 7 Super Bowl rings. So he has room for 2 more rings on his finger. Do you think Tom Brady gets 2 more Super Bowl rings before he retires?
I hope not. I really don't. I'm tired of Tom Brady. I'm tired of Brady being in the Super Bowl. I want to see something different. Give us variety. That was the beauty of the league when free agency came about, was and they had the salary cap. Parity is prevalent, and even to this day is prevalent in the league. You can go worst to first in the NFL just because of free agency alone. Right. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars did it. The Cleveland Browns kind of did it. So I don't know. I'm just good on him for everything he's done. You cannot take it away. The guy's the greatest to ever play the quarterback position. I know you said second best. I don't care. 7
I was
rings.
just
The
joking.
guy,
I was totally just joking on that. Yeah.
the guy's played 20 years and been to 10 Super Bowls. You know, who wouldn't love to have a career that basically every other year you go to the Super Bowl,
Right,
and you win 70% of your games?
Well, and then not only that, he has spent over half of his life in the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if he was drafted at 22 and he's going to be 44 this year, half of his life he has been in the NFL. So, I mean, he is doing something right. So, why not get 2 more rings, man? Like, just fill all 10 with like rings. Like, well, why not? But just
as long as his kids don't steal the Super Bowl rings, like you heard that, like Vince Wilfork. Vince Wilfork's kid stole his Super Bowl rings and tried to pawn them off.
That's ridiculous. I mean, first things first, like, your parent is a professional athlete. If you need some money, ask them for it. 9 times out of 10, they'll probably give it to you. But then to pawn off a Super Bowl ring, doesn't it have their name on it? Like, hey, did you ask your dad? Like, how did you get this ring? Oh, it is like it was my dad's. Does your dad know you have this and trying to pawn it off? Wow, but yeah, I mean, you know what, Tom? Win your 2 more rings, and then after you win those 2 more rings, pass the luck over to my Kansas City Chiefs and let Patrick Mahomes win 10. Let Patrick Mahomes win 9 rings, and we'll be good. I mean, I'll be happy.
We will never see another quarterback win that many Super Bowls. At least in our lifetime.
Is it because of the mentality that Tom Brady had that people would be willing to take pay cuts to go play there?
I think so, because like I said, they were stealing free agents off the market. Like, guys would sign there intentionally for undervalue. They were making trades for players like, oh, we just traded a 5th round or a 4th round pick to get Randy Moss. What? Or actually, I don't even think it was a 4th. It might have been later than that. It might have been like a 7th round pick.
I can't remember. Yeah,
I can't remember, but it was a later round pick, and you're like, huh? Like, how come nobody else pulled the trigger in that kind of deal? I mean, there again, being from Green Bay, like Favre did publicly state, like, when they basically said they were going to trade Moss, Favre was like, get me Moss.
Yeah.
Bring him to Green Bay. And he kind of irked, he kind of got irked with ownership when they didn't make a deal for him. Because again, the complaint there was the same as they never put any receivers around Favre. No, just because Favre did the same thing Rodgers did, he could make average receivers look great.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. I mean, like, many people went to New England to play with Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. We are seeing kind of Patrick. Do you think we will see a Patrick Mahomes effect in Kansas City, where people will start to take pay cuts to go to Kansas City to like play?
I do eventually. I mean, because there again, even when Peyton went to Denver, there was guys basically tripping over themselves to go to Denver to go play with Peyton. So yeah, I think they do. Like, if you hit that elite tier, things happen. How many guys too took pay cuts or restructured deals so they could go to New Orleans to play with Drew Brees? You know, it happens. Like, it just happens. So that is the one thing that kind of shocked me with Green Bay, is that there wasn't that many players tripping over themselves to go to Green Bay to play with Aaron Rodgers. So, but
is it because of Aaron Rodgers, or is it because of that ownership?
It was because of at that time. It was because of Ted Thompson. Ted Thompson would not dip his toe into free agency whatsoever. He was a big draft your players and develop, which I always laughed at, because he's draft and develop and then let him leave in free agency. Like, he would sign 1 or 2 of them. Like, you know, his marquee free agent that he ever signed, his biggest one, was Charles Woodson. So he would dip his toe only if it would be like a surefire thing. That's the only way he dipped his toe into free agency.
And you really can't say somebody's going to be a surefire thing, because different systems fit different players better than like others. So, I mean,
But the thing is he bought low on Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson had a reputation when he was with the Raiders. Though he wasn't a team guy. He's difficult to work with. He doesn't get along with coaches. Da 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 da. And he actually had a big sit down with Mike McCarthy before he came there. And McCarthy said, "This is the way it's going to be." And he said, "But I'm going to let you be you." And Woodson said, "That's all I ask." And Woodson became a tremendous leader in the community and on that football team.
Yeah, I mean, like anytime somebody can like be themselves, they're going to excel because they feel comfortable. So, I mean, that's definitely what happened in Green Bay with Charles Woodson. But Tori, we are going to take our next break, guys. And on the other side of the break, we are going to dive more into Packers talk. We are bringing up the newest segment here. We're covering all 32 NFL teams. We're going to tell you a player to buy into the 2021 season, a player to sell, and a sleeper player. And today is the Green Bay Packers. So buy, sell, sleeper coming up here on the Man Hour, guys. We'll be right back after this short little break.
What is your name?
What?
What is your name?
Buck.
Where did you get that shirt?
It's funny that you should ask that. Head over to manhourradio.com. You can pick up the shirt up. $15.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Tori Anderson tonight. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button over here at youtube.com/Man Hour and become a member today. As little 99 cents a month. You get access to the after show, one after show a week on the 99-cent deal. And of course, membership, you get merchandise discounts as well. But if you hit the $9.99 one, you get a hoodie for life every time you are I should say a hoodie every year you are part of Man Hour Nation, a t-shirt a year every time you're a part of Man Hour Nation, and of course you get all access to all extra blogs, after show footage, and behind the scenes footage as well, as low as $9.99 a month. Guys, help us support the show by going to youtube.com/Man Hour and hitting that join button. So Tori, welcome back to the show, man. It is time to talk more about your Green Bay Packers. We've been kind of Packers heavy tonight, and why not? Because we do have you on, so you're a Packers guy. You are part owner of the Packers. So let's talk about your team. So we are covering all 32 NFL teams here, and we are giving you guys players to buy, players to sell, and sleeper players that are going to have kind of like a breakout season. So we are breaking down the Green Bay Packers tonight, like I said. So Tori, I'm going to kick it to you very, very first here. Give me a player that you are buying in this 2021 NFL season.
That's so easy. I'm buying that Aaron Rodgers is the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers come week 1. Absolutely put money on it. I don't care what anybody else says. I think a lot of it is that they're trying to get it all worked out. They're trying to figure it out. At this point, the Packers have already started backing down, saying that, well, we'll waive the fines that you get, and da, da, da. Like, they're doing whatever it takes to try to get this to get it worked out. They literally do not want another Brett Favre saga situation. They saw the show, the crap show that became, and the unceremonious exit to the Jets. They really want to avoid that with Aaron, because Aaron is a beloved figure in the state of Wisconsin. The thing is, Brett was a beloved quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. He was not beloved like Aaron is in the state. Aaron is so active in the communities. He, like I said earlier, he's part owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. He goes to a ton of the Bucks games. He's a big supporter of the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team. Like, he is all about everything Wisconsin. And they asked him one time, they said, well, you're not from here. He's like, I'll show you my wallet. I have a Wisconsin driver's license.
So since you have a driver's license, that makes you from Wisconsin, right?
The thing is he integrated himself. He considers himself a Wisconsinite. So, and it's the effect that he has on people. And I don't think anybody really wants to see him go. I am personally on his side with everything, because, I'm okay with them drafting a quarterback. I really, really am. However, you might want to tell your quarterback that you're drafting somebody. I do have an issue with ownership doing that, with just saying, we're just going to draft a guy. We don't care what you think. Who are you? Well, you're freaking starting quarterback who's going to be a Hall of Famer. To me, it's just, after a certain amount of time, that becomes a courtesy.
Yeah.
If you're Jamarcus Russell, am I going to tell you I'm drafting a quarterback? No, because Jamarcus Russell was probably eating 6 Whoppers over in the locker room, just getting fat. So
it was only 5.
Well, because I don't know if you ever heard. The thing is he had a guy that after every practice, there was at least 2 Whoppers in his locker after every practice.
Really?
Yep. So he had a guy that just all he did was go get him Whoppers.
Was his nickname Whopper?
It had to be.
It had to be.
There's no other. So I am buying Aaron Rodgers being under center for the Green Bay Packers this year.
And I am buying Kevin King. So I wish Wyatt was here, because he would be throwing his jersey and walking on the show. But
Yep, and you get muted just because you said Kevin King.
Kevin King is going to have a standout year this year, Tori. He is going to be on a redemption tour for the Green Bay Packers this season. So I am buying everything about Kevin King this year. I might even buy a number 20 jersey and put the GOAT on the back of it, because he is going to have a GOAT type of, like, this year. Kevin King is going to be the staple of the Green Bay Packers defense. I think he is going to do great things on that defensive side of the ball. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he just sign a new deal too? So, I mean,
he basically signed a 1-year prove it deal.
Oh, okay.
So King, the thing is I'm not anti Kevin King. He did not play well in the NFC title game. They picked on him and they exploited him because they had bigger receivers that could outrun him. And he's a bigger cornerback. He just doesn't have the speed to keep up with them. But he actually had a pretty decent season. My biggest knock on Kevin King is the guy can never stay healthy. And at that point, you do have to probably move on from him. And that's why I think it's more a bigger part of the equation isn't the way that Kevin King performed. It's the fact that Kevin King can't stay on the field for 16 games a year.
Well, this year, Tori, he will prove it to you, since he is on that prove it deal. He will prove to you that he can be on the field for all 20 games this year. Lead you guys to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because he's going to be the number 4 cornerback after the preseason's done, so he won't be on the field every snap.
You are ridiculous on that one. So after every bye, there is a sell, Tori. So obviously, give me a player that you are not sold on this year, that you don't have any faith in whatsoever. Get him out of here. Who is that player that you're selling?
Whoever ends up our punter. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's really hard to not say I have the. I'm actually going to go with a little bit of a surprise here, and I'm going to say I'm going to sell Alan Lazard.
Okay.
I really like Alan Lazard, but again, as I just said, injuries, can't stay on the field. He's not, for being an outside receiver, he does not have the speed. He would be a fine slot guy that can go over the middle and take the tough hits. He's a big, strong body, tough receiver. So I think he fits a little bit better in the slot. You need a little bit more. On the outside, when you got your outside people, you need a little bit more speed. You need to be a little bit more of a deep threat. And I think he may be cut because I think they are probably going to move MVS into that number 2 role. He will overtake Lazard because he is MVS is a home run threat. Every time he's on the field, he has the chance to take it the distance. Whether or not he actually holds on to the ball and catches it is another thing. So he gets passed up there. You're going to have Amari Rodgers. Amari Rodgers is going to get every chance in the world to be that number 3 receiver and be that slot guy. I do think that Equanimeous St. Brown steps up and he makes the team as well. I think he becomes the number 4 receiver. He is a tall, lanky receiver. He has got speed for days. And he was hurt last year and he never really got a chance to play at all. Prior to that, he flashed a ton. So I think Alan Lazard actually gets pushed and it becomes the odd man out. And he's going to be like my surprise cut for the Green Bay Packers this year.
So you think he's getting cut from the team?
I do.
Oh, okay. So that would be a big shock to White because he is in love with Alan Lazard.
It's I like him too. He's just his mold is not conducive to what they're trying to do on the offense.
Right. So I'm going to throw a surprise out there to you too. Now, I don't think this particular player is going to get cut or lose his starting job by any means, but I think he is going to have a down year because historically, after running backs get a big deal, they have a pretty crap year the next year, and that is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones just signed that mega deal, and we've seen running backs, after they sign that mega deal, they kind of fall off the map for a year, maybe a year and a half. And I think Aaron Jones is going to take that big step back just because, he's kind of like, hey, I got my bread. I don't have to run these routes as hard as I used to, or, maybe I might fall down on this inside run just a little bit. I don't want to take that extra shot. And that's why I'm selling Aaron Jones this year because he did get that mega deal after the reports were he was going to Miami to sign $100 million deal, but he ended up back in Green Bay, obviously. And they do have a great backup. I do like AJ Dillon as a backup too, so I think that's going to take some pressure off of him, and he'll be like, hey, you know what? This second down, buddy, why don't you go ahead and take a few carries instead of me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree just because of the AJ Dillon's going to cut into some of them carries this year. I think I absolutely love Jamal Williams. I will never say one bad thing. Jamal Williams is one of the greatest people on the entire face of this earth. The guy, or I can say guy, he's technically a kid in my eyes because I'm old. He's a kid. Is just a phenomenal kid. However, as soon as they drafted AJ Dillon and then they re-signed Aaron Jones, you knew Jamal was not going to be back. AJ Dillon is Jamal Williams times 2. I don't know if you've ever seen the picture of his legs. Those are freaking tree trunks.
Yeah, they are.
He makes Saquon's legs look small.
Come on now, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. You know that.
No, that is not. His legs are even bigger this year. They showed a picture of him and Aaron Jones side by side, and Aaron Jones looks like a toothpick.
Interesting.
So it's ridiculous how big that guy's quads and his calves are. His calves are probably bigger than both of my legs put together.
That's saying a lot because you do got a thick lower half there, Tori.
Oh no, I got chicken. I got chicken legs. So I got straight up chicken legs.
So we do see Bo popping in the chat here. What's going on, Bo? Thank you for joining us tonight. But just to review, guys, we are doing the Green Bay Packers buy, sell, sleeper segment. So far, we have done the buy. Torrey is buying Aaron Rodgers. I am buying Kevin King this year to have pretty standout years this year. And selling aspect of it, Torrey, you are selling Alan Lazard. You actually think he is going to get cut this year from the Green Bay Packers, and I'm selling Aaron Jones. So with that being said, Torrey, that moves us on to our sleeper pick. Who do you think in your eyes is going to have a breakout season for the Green Bay Packers?
So it's kind of a dual role for it. I have two guys because I can't pick either one because I think they're both going to be huge. And one of them is going to be A.J. Dillon. So that's where like when you're saying Aaron Jones, I can see that because I think A.J. Dillon is going to announce his authority with a bang this year. He is going to come out like a steamroller. And yes, he is going to cut into Aaron Jones's carries because he is going to be that you're between the tackles guy. Aaron, I think, is going to get relegated a little bit more to that third down back if they need a receiving back. I think Aaron Jones gets relegated, but still has a very productive year. But you're going to see A.J. Dillon get the lion's share of the carries, I think, just based off of his build. And they are going to batter and beat people. He's going to be that running back in the second half that they just beat you down and run you through the mud with. And on the defensive side of the ball, I think you're going to see Rashawn Gary finally get to explode. Rashawn Gary is kind of a positionless linebacker. He is that guy that they can line up anywhere now because of his athletic ability. They can line him up inside. They can line him outside. They can hide him and just let him loose on the quarterback. And I think he has a big year this year. He's basically spent the last 2 years learning behind Zadarius and Preston Smith. And he cut into Preston Smith's snaps last year. I think that they unleash all three of them this year.
Huh, interesting. So going back to your sell pick here, Alan Lazard. I think he is going to be my sleeper pick of the year, Tori. So we are on exact opposite spectrums of Alan Lazard. Because I think the Green Bay Packers always have that one receiver that kind of comes out of nowhere. You're like, man, where's this guy in college? Like, why wasn't he higher on the board? Jordy Nelson comes to mind.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, yes. And I think this is a year that teams double up Devontae Adams all year long. You are going to see a high-low safety play on him. He will get maybe half of the touches that he is normally getting, and those touches have to go to somewhere else. And I don't think Alan Lazard gets cut, but I think he makes leaps and bounds this year and becomes that Jordy Nelson-esque type of player this year, and he is going to be that nice, solid receiver, the go-to guy that Aaron Rodgers can rely on all season long, just because he has been overlooked. They do have a very wide receiver heavy team. Like, let's be honest, they have functions that didn't even play last year because of the COVID thing, and he is back. And you have the St. Brown, and heck, even Mercedes Lewis has a backup tight end is going to get some catches too, I think. But Alan Lazard is going to have a breakout year this year, Tori. I feel it in my bones. He is not going to get cut, and he's going to have a great year. You were shaking your head in disagreement. Why is that? Because you think he's going to get cut? But
I do, because my pulse is on the team, man. That is my team. You don't know me. You don't know my life.
Clip that.
So no, I just there's my catchphrase. You don't know me. You don't know my life. I'm a man. I'm 40 years old.
So give me some insights. Like are there bloggers putting it out there, or are you seeing something in OTAs? Like
if you look at that wide receiver room, actually, I was more shaking my head about the Devin Funches thing. I think Funches is gone.
Oh yeah,
he opted out last year. The guy's never been super reliable to catch the ball since he's come into the league. And by opting out last year, he really didn't do himself any favors to even get into rhythm with Rodgers. So he's still behind the 8 ball. EQ is back this year, and EQ's played with Aaron now. This is his 4th year. So he was part of that year that they drafted Jamon Moore when they drafted Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and they drafted him. So he's in year 4, and Aaron's comfortable with him as well. It's like I said, he fell off last year because he was hurt. And then he got healthy and got hurt the very next week. So he was ended up on IR. So I just think that Funches falls victim as to not knowing the system. I think Lazard falls just based on numbers wise and who Aaron trusts. It's not to say that Aaron doesn't trust Alan Lazard. I just think for him, it comes down to they want to get quicker at wide receiver, and he doesn't fit that mold for them.
So you are saying that you you have your you have this pulse on your team because they're in your backyard and you read about them all day long and you hear things and you know people. So you are giving me 2 breaking stories here that you think Funchins and Alan Lazard are both going to get cut from the Green Bay Packers this year, right?
Yes, I will stick to that until they don't get cut, and then I can be ridiculed and you can rib me on it. But guess what? I'm not going to go Wyatt here. I don't waffle on these things. I honestly feel the way that those players are, like Lazard, obviously will probably get picked up by somebody. He's a good NFL player. He is an NFL player. It's just not the right fit in Green Bay for him. I just think that there's other cheaper options that they are going to go with.
So when you say you have the pulse of this team, like, are you hearing something, or is it just that gut feeling in your eyes telling you?
I'm Adam Scheftering this. I am just pulling stuff from what I put together, what I see, what I read, stuff like that. It's literally me just forming a hypothesis, and this is what I see.
Well, and we will find out your conclusion. What training camp starts here in roughly a month, and the first preseason game is, So, and the first preseason games are about August 10th, 17th is usually week 1 here. So, Tori, we are going to take our next break here on the Man Hour, and we haven't done What Does in quite a long time, Tori. We are obviously off for a week, and then we were doing some other stuff here on the Man Hour. But are you ready for the infamous What Does after the break?
Let's do it.
We haven't done it in a while, so hopefully you are ready and remember how it goes. So we'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour with the infamous What Does, brought to you by Brooks Roofing, brooksroofingin.com. You can check them out. Be right back. Find the button, Michael. There it is.
Hey there, Mr. White T-shirt wearer, dude.
Mr. White shirt wearer, dude.
Do you wear the same shirt every day?
Same shirt every day.
Do you do the same thing every day?
The same thing every day.
Don't you worry, Mr. White shirt wearer, dude. Now with Man Hour merch, you can spice up your style each and every day. From hats to beanies to shirts, we got you covered, Mr. White shirt wearer, dude. Shop at manhourradio.com. T-shirts start at $15. Shop today.
Why, thank you, manhourradio.com, for this awesome merch. Hats, T-shirts, $15. You can't go wrong.
Pretty obvious in that one. Dak's coming back off. You got Tom Brady, and did I mention 22 starters coming back?
When I say Lamar Jackson is trash, I'm not saying he is the worst quarterback in the league, but he is definitely not the best quarterback in the league. When you say somebody is trash, it is based off the perception of the general public.
by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse on with Tori Anderson tonight. If you guys have not done so already, hit that like button, hit that share button, share it with a couple of friends. Let's get some more people here in the chat. YouTube.com/Man Hour, and you can simply hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, iHeartRadio. And of course, now, thanks to Tori, Mr. Harry, Tori Anderson, Amazon Music, because that's what all he uses, and then he doesn't ever use it. But we digress from that a little bit, Tori. But guys, we have a segment called What The. So basically every Wednesday here on the Man Hour, we basically let out what has just been grinding our gears for the last couple days, right? And I was on vacation, and so I have quite a few What This, Tori. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first, Tori?
Let's let you go first, since you've got quite a few of them.
All right, guys, it's time for the What Does. Sit back, relax, and get a laugh in. My first What The of the night is going to go out to the people that sent me a DM on Twitter saying that I'm too ugly to be on camera anymore. Like, that's why my camera is shut off. No, actually, my camera is shut off because my computer bit the shit literally 5 minutes before the show last night. So I'm on a backup computer that's really, really laggy. And when I turn the camera on, it makes me look all robotic and stuff. And also, I have my little man sitting on my lap. Trip is right here napping away because he got shots and he wants his dada. So for those people that are saying that I'm camera shy because I'm too ugly, you guys get the What The.
My first What The of the night's going to go to you, Mr. Buckheister, and to one Brandon Combs. We're like, oh, Brewers lost to the Diamondbacks. Haha, they lost 17 in a row. And then who won the next 2 games? The Milwaukee Brewers won those 2 games. So, Mr. Buckheister, Mr. Combs, you get my What The for trying to run your mouth. And like I said, we don't need to sweep every series. If we take 2 out of 3 games, I am 100% okay with that because you are still adding 1 game over 500 in a 3-game series. I am okay with them being 1 game over 500 on this West Coast swing so far, even though they probably played the 2 worst teams in baseball. So there again, I don't care what team you are, going on that West Coast swing, if you are not from that West Coast, is tough and it's brutal on everybody. And to take 4 games and drop 3, I will take that all day long. So Mr. Combs, Mr. Buckheister, you get my What The.
My next What The of the night is going to go out to the state of Alabama. Me and my wife drove to New Orleans last week for our 4th wedding anniversary. Shout out to my beautiful wife and putting up with me for that long, and two beautiful kids. But we digress from that. The state of Alabama, guys. I did not see a police from Indiana until Mobile, Alabama. When we went from Mobile to whatever the next big city is, Tori, I promise you, there was a cop every mile on the mile that had somebody pulled over. State of Alabama, do you guys have nothing else better to do but pull over travelers? Come on, man. I want to go 85. I just want to sit back. I want to relax. I want to cut my 10-hour trip down to 8.5. So let me do 85, 90. Let me just go about my way. Alabama police officers, you got to get the What The.
So if you guys are watching on like your news feeds and all that good stuff right now, it's all starting to come out now, and it's starting to pop off now with the name, image, likeness stuff. The NCAA is finally coming to terms with it. They are settling it up with the universities for these athletes to have their name, image, and likeness used in video games. And there is going to be strict guidelines, but the players will potentially be paid for having their name, image, and likeness used in a, let's hope for it, and it hopes it comes soon, like an NCAA college football, the NCAA basketball game. I am not going to lie. I like some sports games, but I have always been partial to the NCAA footballs. I've always been partial to the NCAA basketballs because I like doing all that different stuff. When those games went away, it was a very sad day for me, and I did get away from a lot of the sports games. I'm not a big fan of like the Madden games. The only sports game I really play is I like MLB The Show. And now with the college games coming back potentially, I probably will 100% get back into that. So NCAA, you have taken far too long to get to the point of this name, image, likeness thing. And because you were greedy, you wanted the money for yourselves, and the universities wanted the money for themselves, even though you make billions of dollars off of these student athletes. Give them something so they don't have to, beg for $3 from somebody so they can go buy 12 bags of ramen noodles. So NCAA, you get my what the for taking so long on this one.
And my what the is going to piggyback off of what Tori said here as my computer decides to, man, this computer, Tori, I swear, it is making me so upset right now. But we're going to go ahead and digress on that. We're going to digress. I'm going to move past it. But I'm going to piggyback on what you said there. The NCAA has taken way too long to start paying their student athletes. I was a college athlete, Tori, back at the Division I level in 2006. I was that broke college kid. I was scrambling around, pulling loose change out of my car to go buy a pack of ramen noodles, while somebody that was a student teacher was eating steak and lobster from the Olive Garden because they could substitute teacher and get paid, but yet I couldn't post a video on YouTube and get paid because I was a football player. That is absolutely asinine. It is about time the NCAA has done something about this. And yes, I hear it now. Oh, college athlete gets stipends. You get paid by an education, yada, yada, yada. Okay, if you guys want to go that route, Tori, reel me in if I get too excited here. But how about that band person, that trumpet player? He is at Kansas State University on a scholarship, playing her little horn. Wow, you can go play with the symphony, get $200 a show, plus sell lessons and a CD and get profit off of all that crap. But yet I have to go to football practice at 6 o'clock in the morning, find a holy pair of shoes to wear to get there when you're driving around in a Maserati and I'm in a Chevy Illumina and rusted out. And Tori, the NCAA has fucked up for so goddamn long. Like, I am excited that these kids get the opportunity to get paid, but how about all those players that have lost eligibility? The Baylor kicker comes to mind. He had a YouTube channel kicking balls. He had this YouTube channel back in high school. He was kicking balls, and YouTube started to pay him, and he was ineligible for the Baylor Bears and therefore probably ruined his NFL career, all because of some stupid-ass rule. It is about time, NCAA. So you guys, I'm piggyback on exactly what Tori said. You guys get the what the. This is bullshit, Tori.
While we're on this college team, I'm going to go ahead and stick right with it. As many of you know, Greg Gard got kind of thrown under the bus yesterday, the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball coach, by 7 of the seniors. They all went and met with him, 3 assistant coaches, 7 seniors. There's 11 people in that room. One of the players recorded the conversation. They released 36 minutes of edited tape to the press yesterday. And then it all kind of came out like, well, basically the players saying they can't trust him. They don't think he has his back, which prompted Greg Gard to come out and have to say, I support all my players. I try to support everything. They are here to be athletes. They are here. I'm here to make them a man. I'm here to make them a better person and let them leave this university in a better spot than they were. But I do support my players. Along those lines, that's what his statement said. My what the for this goes out to the player that did this. To me, you crossed the line. One, not only is it illegal to record somebody without their knowledge, B, you did it out of spite for no other reason. And we talked about it yesterday. The only reason you're recording a conversation is so you can use it against them to blackmail something. So you can use it against them to make somebody look bad, to get your way. That is the only way. That is dirty. It's Bush League. It's underhanded. It is unacceptable. And I am not down with that part of it. You betrayed the trust of your coach and the rest of your team. Maybe you were like, I'm just going to play for the rest of the team so they know what they heard. If that was it, great, say it. If somebody else leaked it, then come up and own that at that point. The reason you're not is because you could be criminally charged for it. So none of them are going to step forward and say, I did it. I have seen a couple of the Wisconsin Badger players step up and say, yeah, that's kind of a bunch of crap. It should have never happened. Something like that should never happen. That's an internal thing. That's not something that you just go spout everywhere else. So anonymous Wisconsin Badger basketball player that no longer plays for the Badgers, you get my what the for being a spineless jellyfish and releasing something to the media that did not need to be released because you are butthurt.
And my final what the other night, first thing first, guys, I want to apologize for my language earlier, but just like I personally was railroaded by the NCAA my junior year, and every time something like that happens, it just cuts through my core. But my final what the is I did go to the Big Easy on my vacation on our week off. We went to Bourbon Street. We had a great time. But my what the is going to go out to the guy that was painted in like all gold. Like Tori, you have seen those guys. They act like they're statues and they like randomly move and they like a brand new pose and they stand there for five or six minutes and then they go to the next pose and they want tips and basically. Well, this particular guy on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana, you want to know what his pose was, Tori? He was leaning back on a crate with his middle finger up. So he was basically flipping everybody off as you walk down the street for no good reason. It was absolutely stupid, absolutely asinine. I didn't see $1 bill in his tip jar. And we saw him later, like as he was cleaning up and like going to his car, and I may have been underneath the influence of alcohol, and I asked him like, hey, how much money did you make today? He's like, oh, I made about $10-12. I'm like, do you think if you would change your pose you would make more money? He told me to F off and just went about his way. I'm like, I was trying to be helpful, man, but you get the what the brother.
So my last what the of the night is going to be a problem that is literally in every metropolitan area of this country. So as you guys know, I will be moving and I'm currently looking for a new place to live. The questions I have to ask, because there again, I am a city guy. I know when you have to ask what's parking lot or like at every place that you talk to, when you are looking to live like in the downtown metro area. And they're all like, but we have parking here. The one place wanted to charge $50 a month for their above ground parking. To park, you have to pay $50 a month just to park in the parking lot. If you want the underground parking, it's $135 a month. And then they said, oh, but there's a waiting list. So where am I supposed to park? I live at your complex, but you don't have anywhere for me to park. So this is a common theme. This happens in a lot of the places until I get to like the little outlying areas away from the downtown area. And I'm like, I have to wait to park in my own parking lot. They're like, yes, I do not get that. So people that make these rules for these places, you get my what the, because you sure as hell ain't getting my money.
Yeah, Tori, that is absolutely ridiculous because I have never lived in an apartment complex or a gated community where I couldn't park like at the community. Like, so what are you supposed to do? Like park on the street? Like, what's their thought process behind that?
I have no clue, but you have to ask these things, especially like in the downtown areas. They're getting, you know, as well as I do, like even Kansas City, like 99% of the stuff is like a parking garage. But even like the usually the apartment areas and stuff like that usually have like their own parking. You know, it's usually like monitored and all that stuff to make sure that people that aren't supposed to be parking there are parking there. But this one literally was like, yeah, man, no, there's a waiting list to use the parking lot. And I was like,
that kind of tells me that they're renting it out to other people to like work or something.
No, because like if you're living in if there's two people living in a one bedroom and they both have a car, they're both renting a spot.
True. I got you. So Bo brings up a great point here. He says, sell your car. You can get good money right now.
I mean, you're not wrong. And the appeal to that place was I could literally walk to work because it would be, I looked it up on my phone and it'd be a 7-minute walk from there to my work.
So when I lived in downtown Kansas City, I literally did not drive my car for 4 years. It sat in my parking garage spot for 4 years because I walked across the street to work. CVS was in the same building as me, so I got like all my groceries, my milk, like everything. And then my gym was like across the street from that, and it shared a thing with Jimmy John's. So I literally did not drive my car for 4 years. It was freaking amazing. Not gonna lie. Until I moved and I realized that my car hadn't moved for 4 years and had flat spots on my tire and they were flat and the battery was dead. And
had a colony of mice living in your engine.
Right. And I had this weird chocolate pudding running on the bottom that was supposed to be oil, but it was just like ice cream. Absolutely ridiculous. But guys, we are going to take our next break. On the other side of the break, we have to talk a little bit. We have to talk some foreign substances. Or no, we've already talked foreign substances. Haven't we, Tori? No,
we didn't. No, we haven't. No, we've not. We didn't touch on it.
Okay, so we are going to talk a little foreign substances. A little bit of Paul George missing 2 clutch free throws last night, and possibly some playoffs and some Globetrotters. And we got a lot of talk about Tori here in the last half hour of the Man Hour. So, guys, sit back and buckle up. And Shop Talk is coming up in 20 minutes as well. So, if you guys want to talk about anything, let us know in the chat, youtube.com/Man Hour. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. We'll be right back after this short little break. There it is.
very good quarterback.
To the man now, when we taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you dated, broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We cross the topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buck has with Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us on the old Twitter machine at @manhour_Buck and of course at manhour_Tori. Tori's the most active on the Twitter machine because he is trying to get non-bot followers. So if you guys are on the old Twitter machine, give Tori a follow, manhour_Tori. But if you are new here and you just tuned in to us here on youtube.com/manhour, hit that like button, guys, right now. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Help us get to more eyes. So simply hitting that like button and saying #manhour in the comments helps us more than you guys will ever know. So Tori, we talked a lot about your Green Bay Packers. We talked some Tom Brady, but now it is time to kind of gear off track a little bit, and hopefully the fans don't tune out because sometimes they do. But guys, we are going to talk a little bit of baseball here, so stick with us for the next 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball. But on Monday, Tori, the Major League Baseball has officially said we are going to start checking pitchers for foreign substances. So for you guys that do not know, it has been rumored for years that pitchers are using extra jalapeno juice to get some extra spin on the ball, right? So as of Monday, the umpires can check the pitchers starting pitchers up to 2 times in a game and relievers 1 time. Matt Scherzer and is one of the pitchers that have been checked. He was checked 3 times in yesterday's game, and him and Joe Girardi had a few words after the fact. So basically, Joe Girardi said that Max Scherzer had a foreign substance because he was rubbing his head after each pitch, and Joe Girardi had never seen Max Scherzer do that. So Tori, this is what 2 days into this whole looking for foreign substance things. Do you think this is going to give baseball a black eye, or do we really need this?
I don't think we really need this. The thing is if you're going to cheat, well, you're going to cheat. You know, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Exactly.
So it's still going to happen. This is getting ridiculous. Like literally, Max Scherzer was like stripping down, like giving them the big FU.
Yeah.
Like he was like,
he took off his pants.
Took his pants down, like, you know, like, and I do not blame him 1 iota for it. It is dumb. It is ridiculous. The thing is baseball's always been about pace of play. This is going to be so stupid and slow down pace of play to the point that it counteracts everything that you did to improve pace of play to get games done quicker.
Exactly.
So I don't get it. And there again, they said the rules, I believe it stated that the pitchers starting pitcher could be checked twice, and they checked Scherzer 3 times.
Right.
So is nobody keeping track of this? Or
yeah, I'm not 100% sure who's keeping track of it whatsoever. But the one thing that I have noticed in watching the game, because you know I do watch baseball games. I mean, I'm not as passionate as Brandon Combs is, but I do watch a lot of baseball games. And like all the games that I saw where managers were saying, hey, check that guy, basically the pitcher was dominating the team. And I feel like the managers are using that to their advantage to basically mess up the guy's groove. So like Tori, let's say my Royals are playing your Brewers here, and Danny Duffy is just killing your team. Like you guys maybe got that's not out of the realm because the Brewers offense is pathetic. Yeah, exactly. But like let's say you guys got 2 hits and we're going into the 7th and the Royals are up 4-0. Craig Counsell says, hey, that guy has a weird look on his neck. So they go out and check him in. They don't see anything at all. You know, a few more pitches like it goes by, like, oh, he keeps rubbing his hat. Go check him. I feel they're simply using that just to break the rhythm of the pitcher, and it just like this is stupid, absolutely stupid. This is if you want to check a guy, do it when he is in the dugout. Have your auxiliary umpire go check him while he is in the dugout. Because if something is happening, that is when they're applying the sticky substance to their hat or to their glove, or reapplying it. So do not change the pace of a game. It's absolutely stupid, absolutely asinine, and I hate it. I mean, it's making me not want to watch the game. Like honestly,
there again, like I was a correctional officer for 15 years. Literally, to me, it's like basically, all right, we're gonna pat these guys down. Is that where are we shaking players down now at this point? And that's kind of what it's like. All right, how far are we from? All right, bend over and spread your cheeks.
Right,
cough.
Exactly.
It's that's what it feels like to me. Is like they're like, even though you did nothing wrong, you're being accused, and it's the whole you're guilty. Even if you're proven innocent at that point. So I am not a fan of it. It's the dumbest thing Major League Baseball has ever done. I don't know who cried and got this instituted. So I'm sure the umpires players union at some point is going to be like, this is awful. Get it out of there.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, Bo brings up a great point here. He says check him just like the ref does before a MF. Like, that'd be a great idea. Just check him before the game, right? And like maybe every 4 innings after that or something. Just something. But Tori, you come from the correctional officer, like ranks there, and it always happens when something like this happens. Like then there's a big crackdown, like, hey, we're gonna check you every day for a month, and then like after a month when everything cools back down, it is back to the old thing there. So right now, if any pitcher has any foreign substance on them whatsoever, they damn well better not have it on them, because right now it is a point of emphasis. And if you have it on you, you're just flat out stupid. Let's just be honest. If there's a pitcher getting caught right now, they are stupid, 100% stupid.
Yeah, you're not going to hear an argument out of me on that one. It's just the whole rule is asinine. But like you said, they're going to crack down because it's brand new. And eventually, if you just let it go, they're all going to get tired of it, and it's going to be less and less and less. Eventually, I think baseball will get rid of it because they're going to realize it's impacting pace of play, and the fact that managers are basically just using it, like you said, to stall. It's going to turn into a stall technique, is all it is.
100%, 100%. Like I couldn't agree more on that. But speaking of a stall tactic, Paul George last night missed back-to-back free throw stories in the Suns Clippers game. If he just would have made those free throws, he would have iced the game and basically won them. That would have given him a 3-point advantage, and we wouldn't have seen the great alley-oop dunk to end the game for the Suns. But he missed back-to-back free throws. Many people have been putting the superstar title on Paul George, PG-13, for quite a while. Can you have a superstar label and miss back-to-back free throws to ice the game in a playoff game?
Absolutely, you can. Shaquille O'Neal comes to mind immediately. End of a game, close. You kept that ball as far away from Shaquille O'Neal as you could. So early on in his career, when they still thought they could learn to make him or show him how to shoot free throws, and they would still try to get him the ball at the end of a game, people would just hack him. That's where the Hack-a-Shack became a term, because he couldn't hit a free throw for his life. The guy was one of the most dominant centers of all time. So yes, you can have that superstar moniker. You can be a superstar in this league and do that. Again, you can have a bad game. Things cannot go your way. PG-13 can come out next game and pull a KD and drop like 52, and the Clippers win at home by 13 points. And then we're talking about how great PG-13 is in the playoffs and how clutch he was with his team down 0-2. So
see, and then I'm on the exact opposite spectrum of that, because you brought up the name Shaq, which is a great point, but people knew that Shaq could not make free throws. The coaches knew that. The players knew that. Paul George is historically is a pretty good free throw shooter. I believe he's like 75% from the foul line. This tells me he kind of has a little bit of Ben Simmons in him. Let's just be honest. His butthole puckered up, and he did not want the ball at the foul line. You saw it. You saw it in his face. Like, man, we're only up by one. I got to make at least one. So if they shoot it, we can go into overtime. But Torrey, his butthole puckered. He got scared. So that tells me that PG 13 will not be taking the last shot for the Clippers for the rest of the series. That's just the way it is.
No, you're wrong. Because there's another guy by the name of Giannis who is about a 73% free throw shooter that consistently is considered a superstar in this league. The guy's won back-to-back MVPs
by default,
but
he got lucky.
Yeah, twice. So I mean, he joined an elusive club of Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same year. But he has a habit of, in big moments, he cannot hit a free throw. Like, he will clang it. Like, he goes into straight, like, I forgot how to shoot, like, mode. It's like watching him try to shoot a three.
He's getting better at shooting. He's getting better at shooting at threes.
No, he's not. Well, I mean, if I compare him to his rookie season when he shot like 18%, now he's at like 29%. So I don't know. I don't know what he's.
That is almost double. Good. That's almost double, Tori.
So, but he has a tendency to disappear late in games when their teams are almost going to the hack-a-shack with him, because if it's a tie game and Giannis has got the ball and you can foul him and put him on the line, you have a better chance of him missing the shot at the foul line than letting him try to attack the rim.
I mean, I would love, because, Paul George played for Indiana for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years or however long it was. And me being a Hoosier now, I passively root for Paul George. So hopefully he can come back from that. But, Tori, we have to talk a little bit about NBA still. The Globetrotters, the Harlem Globetrotters. For those of you that don't know, the Harlem Globetrotters is that go-lucky, laid-back, have-fun team. They play these college teams and they play pranks on each other. It is basically like a circus. Like you go and watch them play and have a good time. Now the NBA is talking about expanding, adding more teams to the NBA, and the Harlem Globetrotters want to be the newest NBA team out there. First things, Tori, do you think the Harlem Globetrotters could even compete, legitimately compete at an NBA level with a team currently constructed?
Not the way it's currently constructed. Everything would have to be totally redone. There's no way that they could compete trying to do, I'm pretty sure a ball on a string is illegal in the NBA.
Right.
So, yeah, there's certain things. I think it's cool that they want to be an NBA team. However, don't ruin my childhood. I absolutely love, it's always the Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals or whatever the heck. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's normally the Washington Generals is the name of the other team. And I do believe that the Washington Generals have beat them twice. And that's it. And I don't think that's supposed to happen. But anyways, it could happen. I want to see it just because the Globetrotters are synonymous with basketball. They are iconic. They are who wouldn't want to say I just signed with the Harlem Globetrotters and go out to get drop 30 points a night, that would be pretty sweet. But there again, they are, like you said, it's almost like a circus act. They are basically a traveling basketball comedy act, and that's what they are. And that's what people love about it. It was good, cheap, fun entertainment for a couple of hours because they put on a hell of a show. They are great to go see. If you've never seen the Globetrotters play, you are missing out on something hilarious in life. The whole them coming out with the bucket and throwing it, and it's nothing but confetti and all that stuff in it. It's all stuff that they do, and it is good. It's a good family fun event. And if they become an NBA team, that all goes away.
Yeah.
And that it's kind of sad. You know, like they say, all good things must come to an end. But I really think Globetrotters are one of those things you don't ever really want to see end.
Well, I mean, and to be honest, Tori, that like your childhood is starting to come to an end here, because here in Southern Indiana, the Globetrotters played at a local high school, and they couldn't even fill the local high school. So, I mean, people are slowly starting to not enjoy their antics anymore, or you know, we just see better stuff like on YouTube for free, right? So with that being said, when you like let's say the name Harlem Globetrotters becomes an NBA franchise, opening day 2022, the Harlem Globetrotters are playing the Milwaukee Bucks. You would think that is going to be a spoof game. You're like, what? Like, well, why?
Right.
Why is the Harlem Globetrotters playing the Bucks? Like, is this an actual game, or like what is going on? Like, they're just the name Globetrotter itself, it cannot go into the NBA, just because, like, in the back of my head, just like your childhood, I grew up with them, you know, packing the Yum Center and stuff like that. Like, it would come off as a spoof game, you know, like it would. I could not take it serious. Like, I think it would take 5, 6, 7 years for them in the NBA to be considered a legitimate team, you know, like the Miami Heat and the Bucks and like all that stuff. Like, it just, there is so much rebranding that would have to be done.
Yeah. You couldn't be the Harlem. You'd have to be like the Harlem whatever, you know.
Yeah, it would definitely would have to be a name change. So with that being said,
and you couldn't have any other uniforms besides the iconic Globetrotter uniform. Like,
right.
your uniform choices would be limited.
Yeah, it would, and honestly, I mean, I do like the American flags, red, white, and blue, you know, but I just don't think LeBron James would go for that.
LeBron would be the first free agent ever signed by the Globetrotters.
That would be ridiculous. All right, guys, so we are going to take our last break here on the Man Hour. Coming up on the other side of the break, we got the infamous shop talk, because I pull up the right thing here. So if you guys want to talk about anything in the chat, let us know. Let us know what you want to talk about. But first, coming up, we're going to talk about transgender and the Olympics. So we are going to talk a little controversy coming up here on Shop Talk. So, but if you guys do want to talk about anything, let us know. Also got the after show coming up as well. So if you are a member, head over to youtube.com/Man Hour, and underneath the community tab, there will be a link there for the after show. So that starts here at 10 p.m. East Coast time, 9 p.m. Central, coming up on Man Hour. So sit back, relax, and we'll get one last break for you guys.
ManHourRadio.com.
check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And we have checked our mics for an hour and 45 minutes here on the Man Hour, and they are working great. Mr. Tori Anderson and Michael Buckhouse are here tonight. You can find us on Twitter at manhour_Buck. And, of course, manhour_Tori. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, every day on youtube.com/manhour, we upload clips of the show. And starting this week, guys, we're going to give you some extra clips as well. So sometimes you might get an extra clip of Tori. Sometimes you might get an extra clip of myself. It's just us going off on a rant, something that has pissed us off during the day or we want to talk about, and we just want to get it off our chest. So if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you best do that right now and hit that bell icon because you never know what you're going to miss over there on the Man Hour. So, Tori, welcome back, man. Hopefully you caught your breath, you know. We talked to Packers. We saw some Globetrotters. We saw some substance, and, of course, Tom Brady. Has anything really struck a nerve with you tonight? Like, has something just kind of rubbed you the wrong way at all?
No, Brandon's not here.
Brandon's not here. I'm kidding.
I love Brandon to death. That's the thing. We all rip on each other. We all talk smack about each other. But behind the back, we're all like, hug it out, bro. I love you. You know.
Yeah.
Boo, don't leave me.
I believe Combs said it the best. Like, I can pick on you, but as soon as somebody else picks on you, we have an issue. So I mean that goes with everybody here in the Man Hour. So there were a couple comments on the Facebook that I deleted because guys, quite frankly, I don't want to see anybody attacking each other in the in the group at all. So that particular person has been removed from all groups and can no longer see the Man Hour on the Facebook page. So congratulations, sir, for getting yourself.
We're big time if we got to start banning people.
Hey, me, obviously, you know, haters make you famous, but this guy was just coming with personal attacks and stuff like that. So it is time for shop talk, and Bo brings up a question here, Tori, that I want to address with you here. He says, when is the WNBA going to get transgender athletes? Because we're seeing it in the Olympics, we're seeing it, you know, in other sports and high school sports and track and field and et cetera. Do you think we're going to start seeing, you know, transgender female in the WNBA?
I would say, yeah, you're going to eventually. It's going to happen. So my biggest issue with this all is people are like, that's a man playing a women's sport. The amount of estrogen that is going into their body, there's no testosterone anymore really being produced in their body than the normal level that a female body would have. So it's not, yeah, they may have been male at birth. And like Brett Favre was on a podcast today and was like, they're men. They can't play women's sports. There again, there is things that have to happen. If you are transgender and you are transitioning over to a female, you are taking so much estrogen that you are essentially becoming a woman, and that becomes a lifelong process for you. You're going to be like, how the hell does he know so much about this? Because there were transgender inmates when I was in the prison that would have to go to we would have to take them to doctor's appointments that were transitioning to women. So yes, this is the reason that I know entirely way too much on a subject I should not know anything on. It's a lot of it has to do with the estrogen levels. It's going to happen. Eventually it will happen. You will probably, and it'll be vice versa. Eventually there will be a trans athlete that transitions over to a male sport that was assigned female at birth and became a male. It's going to happen because it'll be the same thing. They are on testosterone, and it's something that they got to do to build up to transition to male. So it's going to happen.
So
it'll happen both ways.
Yeah. So you bring up a great point there because, you know, I'm going to skip the first part there of a male going to a female and playing women's sports, but let's go ahead to the other side of that, a female transferring into a man and playing male sports, since they are using testosterone to transfer into a man, and we have drug testing that testosterone is illegal in most professional sports. Shouldn't they, in theory, be kicked out of the professional sports since they're using testosterone?
There lies the conundrum that will eventually happen. Like, I hope it happens in my lifetime. I really do, because I want to see what pro sports is going to do with it. Because if they're good enough to play in the league, but you're going to say no because you were assigned women at birth and you have to take testosterone in order to keep that going, you are denying them their right to do that job.
But you are cheating because you're using steroids to become that way.
But it's something. But there again, it's something that is necessary for them to have. So
okay, so how about this? I have low testosterone, and I'm you guys can't see me, but I'm using air quotes here. I have a doctor that says I need six grams of TRT to boost my testosterone because I got low test. I mean, come on, I mean, like, clearly I'm a young male and I don't have low test, but this doctor I'm paying that says I have low test, but he's giving me some TRT. There's ways around it, but I'm going to test positive for using steroids, and I'm going to be banned from the league. What is the difference between the female doing it and the male doing it?
I'm going to agree 100% because the low T thing you are seeing is a lot more common in some of, like, even the older athletes that have to do it. I think somebody just got a suspension because they were diagnosed with low T and got an injection. I can't remember who it was or what sport it was. It was football or baseball. But they were diagnosed with low T and they're trying to combat that, and they got injected. They just got suspended. And there again, it's an area that baseball or football or basketball or hockey, whoever, it's something they're going to have to come at, and they're going to have to address, and they're going to have to come to a compromise on it. So, because at that point, like I said, if they are a good enough player, they could probably sue the league and say, you're denying me my right to play a sport that
but you're cheating because you're using steroids.
but it's not, though, because like I said, for somebody that is transgender, that is something that you have to do. It is something
you're still using steroids, and you have a competitive advantage over me.
But you're looking at it from that just one angle. Like, that if they stop taking that, it will do more damage to their body than anything.
So Bo brings up a point here. It's the same point that I have, and he says the argument is they have benefit from having testosterone all the way through their development process in the human body, and then they transition to a female after they're done going through puberty and getting the benefits of the testosterone. The one person that comes to mind is that track star in Texas. He was a man, and he got like 199th in state, and then the next year he transitioned to a female, and now he is a state champion in the track and field. So do you agree with people like that?
What do you mean, people like that?
That are like that are transitioning because they cannot compete at the man's level per
that I don't get. I don't approve of. If you're doing it just for that, to like say I'm a state champion, but I'm a female now, like that I don't get. And I don't think most people are not going to do that because of there is severe risk to your health and to your body when you start transitioning. If you start, you need to go through with it because the damage is irreparable to your body if you stop taking it, and it can kill you.
Yeah.
So
you have to like cycle, or like you have to cycle on off. It says something weird like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but there again, the damage that can be caused by just trying to do that is ridiculous. So if somebody's doing that, they're actually doing more harm to their body than good.
Yeah. So Bo also brings up a At the point, aren't they just taking testosterone starts and not steroids? So testosterone is a form of the steroid. So
Right.
basically what steroids are is they boost the test so your body heals in a quicker fashion. Like, so that's what. So
like HGH was that way.
yeah. So when people think steroids, they're thinking of like you take the shot and you instantly like blow up. No, it increases your testosterone in your body, so it repairs faster. So you still have to put in the work, like many Major League Baseball players use it and cyclists use it, not to get big and strong, but it's to heal their bodies. It is so if they had that like that nagging elbow injury, I take this test shot and it helps me recover faster. Any more thoughts on that, Tori?
No, I mean the misconception a lot of times with steroids is like, you know, the Tony Mandarages of the world that like,
yeah,
you know, it was I took steroids and I became a beast. No, like if you don't work out and you take testosterone, you're gonna just get fat.
Well, there is a study out there that if you simply just take tests, you will gain some mass because, you know, it's just like that's just the way the body works. But, you know, if you work out and you eat right and you still treat your body like the engine that is, you will blow up even more. It basically takes time off of working off or like working out and like cut it in half. So like a year's worth of process gets cut down like 3 or 4 months, basically what it comes down to. So yeah. All right, guys. So we are going to end the show right there. The after show has started over on youtube.com/manhour. So if you are a member, head over to the after show right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about more. So Tori, send us out.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.